I'm going to start with this training today. And today we talk about how to get funded by prop firms and how to move to eventually with that full-time trading. So what's really cool about this and what's going to really help you with this is the fact that you don't have to have the capital yourself. You can just be able to leverage these prop firms online like FTMO, 5%ers, and there's plenty of others. So we won't talk about all of them. But they can fund your trading. And of course, you're not going to get the full kind of returns on that capital. That's normal. That's usual. But you're going to be able to kind of get a big chunk of that for some platforms, quite a bit. And that means that you have to make some return. And you don't have to make a huge return every month. Just a small return, a few percent per month, will allow you to be able to trade full time and be able to make a living out of trading in the future. So today you're in the right place if you've been starting to trade Forex and you know maybe how to trade as well. But the goal you want to be aiming for is be able to trade full time and being profitable. So I know that's a goal that's a goal that a lot of people have. They want to be able to get to full time trading, and that's normal. So that idea of getting funding from prop firms is going to shortcut that quite a bit. So some traders, they save a lot of money in their job, their full time job, for a long time. They might like work for a job like 10 years or something, and they save every penny they can until they are able to have enough money to trade full time. Now you don't have to do that. That's fine if you want to do it that way yourself. It's totally fun, but you can shortcut that quite a lot by using these prop firms online. So what you learn today overall is how to get funded by prop firm. It's quite simple. You learn about how to get to the highest level of funding. So most prop firms, they have different levels. So you start with this amount, then you go to this amount, then you go to this amount. And for most of them, the top is around $1.2 million. So there's a lot of kind of step to get there, and you can surely get there if you want. But we'll teach you how to get to the highest level. So not just getting funded the first time, but getting higher. Okay, that's what we care about. So to put things in perspective here, on a $1.2 million account, if you were to make 5% a month, and you would get 70% of the profit on that, which is a typical profit share, that would be around $40,000 per month, which is quite decent for most people. So most people will be able to do whatever they want with that kind of capital, right? We'll talk about how to be able to quit your job and also sustain the capital growth with these prop firms. And that's going to be all into this one powerful training today. So I just want to remind you one more time to stay focused. Take notes if you want. I would really recommend that. And silence your phone is one of the worst things if you are going to be on your phone all the time and getting notification every single minute. So you're going to make sure you want to actually stay focused. You take notes. And that's going to make sure that you get the most out of this event. A lot of things to do that you cannot do in like 1 hour. You're going to have to take more time to be able to do them. So I highly recommend that you kind of take notes and take action after the event, not during the event, but after the event for most things. So quick disclaimer here, my results on a typical Forex trading involves risk, and getting funded is not for people who don't know what they're doing. You have to be able to know what you're doing first. And there is a fee for most prop firms you have to pay. That's just classical. And if you don't know what you're doing, of course, you will lose the fee you pay. So not smart. That's why you have to be prepared first, learn the right things, which we'll teach you today. And it should be better to move forward after that. So quick background here about myself, if you didn't hear about who I am and what I do. I'm a traveling swing Forex trader. I've been trading since 2013. I host a podcast called the Desire Street Podcast, where I interview traders around the world. And I began trading professionally in 2016 with around $70,000. That's what really kicked my trading career first, to be able to get financing from an investor. The prop firm, they didn't really exist back then, so I had to go with investors. And that helped me to kind of save money, be able to trade that account for a while, save enough money, and then go full time with my own capital afterward. And I at the same time help other traders get more freedom and quit their job with trading. So I want to bring you guys back a little bit to that time where things didn't go really well for me in terms of trading, and I had to kind of find a way to move forward. So back then, in around 2016 or 15, I was getting good progress. I had a coach, I had some mentors, I had people I was talking to all the time. They would really help me to kind of get better in trading. They would really be super, super helpful. But the issue is I couldn't really kind of trade full time. I thought it would just happen naturally over time. I would be able to go full time and everything would be fine. But I had a reality check at one point, and I was talking with a trader that I met at the meetup in Montreal. And that trader pretty much told me that for him to be able to go full time in his trading, he had to work 10 years in a really good job, like a pretty like 6-figure salary job. So like 150,000 a year. He had to work 10 years in that to be able to save enough money to go full time trading. And I was like, well, I was just about to graduate university back then. And I thought that's not the path I want to take. 10 years seems like a really long time. Imagine if you are, I was like about 21 back then. So you're going to be 21 years old, and then you have to go through 10 years of work, so 30, 31 or so, and then you can finally be able to trade full time. That doesn't make sense to me. So I was trading, I was decent at trading, I was okay with that. And what really kickstarted my career is I began to go to meetups in Montreal, began to meet more traders. Michael Tama, who's one of the coaches in the academy, was there early on. And it was really someone who encouraged me to kind of go into doing things bigger and being able to go the professional way in trading. And through that meetup, I connected with an investor, a guy who had a lot of money that I could trade for him. So I met him one day, I went to his office, we talked about trading and things I was doing and things he was doing. And he had a need for someone to trade for him. So he could be more relaxed, take less risk in the market, and be able to focus on other things. So right away, I began to trade for him, and I kind of basically learned my way to professional trading. I didn't know how to do it. I had no one or almost no one to be able to learn from in that particular aspect, but I had to do it anyway. I had to learn things anyway. So I did this by trial and error a little bit, and at some point, a few months later, I began to realize that I didn't really have to have a normal job anymore. That after university, I could be able to just travel and do things that I want to do without being tied to a full-time job, because I was saving this money first, but also because I was able to save money from these gains I was making on a monthly basis to be able to trade full-time eventually. And this is really what kickstarted my trading career, to be able to go full-time and being able to travel and do things on my own term. So today I'd like to share with you how you can do the same, but we'll go with the online prop firms because these are much easier to go with than typical investors. They require a lot less work to get funded, and there's less things you have to do to maintain that capital. So these are much better, and you can do it no matter what you are. So that's going to help you even if you're not profitable right now. We can teach you things that will solidify your trading anyway, and these things can over time translate to you getting funded by prop firms. So I would like you to type in the chat, how much capital are you looking for right now in US dollar? So let me know in the chat and be like just 10K, 20K, 50K. Are you looking for $500,000? That's fine. Just let me know in the chat so I can have a measure of what people are actually looking for here. And then we can target more of these numbers and these high amounts in the future. So what would be that target number you're looking for? Okay, I can see the chat here. That's fine. Let's say that. Okay. Awesome. So I'll have a look at that soon. And for now, we'll just continue with the training. So what I want to teach you today is quite simple. It's simply called the 3 moves that really matter to get funded and scale. So people, when they get pretty much in anything they want to do, getting funded, being profitable, going full-time, there are a lot of things that people do that don't really matter. And there are things that people do or don't do that actually really matter. So I want to teach you things that matter today to be able to get funded and then be able to scale at a later point. So here are a summary of all these 3 things if you want to take it for your note and organize your things properly. The first one is getting your mindset right. The second one is your challenge strategy, so during the challenge. And the third one is scaling up to 1.2 million. So these are all steps you got to take, and they will help you get funded and even go beyond that, getting to scale and go beyond that. So let's talk about mindset first. This is basically the foundation of everything, the most important thing that you got to be able to master. And I've seen people making a lot of mistakes with that. So the reason why people fail the challenge most of the time in prop firms is because they value money over being able to develop their skills, so skill development. And that's the wrong mindset to be in. So if people want to get money first and then build their skills later, that's like the wrong approach, right? It's kind of like trying to drive a car before learning to drive a car, right? It doesn't really make sense. And so write this down. Here's a quote from Jim Rohn, who I really love. He says, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problem, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more freedom, for more wisdom." In the sense that if you have the right wisdom, the right skills, the right knowledge, then the problems, the issues, the opportunities are easy to come across. They're easy to achieve and to get. But if you don't have these things in place, then you won't be able to get there. So it's not about trying to, oh, I wish for capital. No, it's about, I wish for getting the right skills to get the capital. And if you have the right skills, the capital will come automatically, which we'll talk about later. And I want to help you kind of take the professional approach here. So most people, Let's just go with that first. The professional approach in trading. So here's what I really believe in and what I've seen in the past work for many traders. As a platform trader or any kind of trader, your capital balance, the balance in your account, is a direct relation of your trading skill set. Meaning, if you have no skills, you probably have no capital. If you have a lot of skills, you probably have a lot of capital. That's what tends to happen over time. So people that have low skills, they might start with like a lot of money first, and that's fine, but they will lose their money eventually. So your capital balance always reflects your skills in the market. And if you think about that, if you really believe in that, it means that if you just increase your skills properly, your account balance will increase over time. There's no doubt about that. But most people, unfortunately, just think that they're unlucky. They think that it's their fault, or actually, they think it's not their fault. They think it's like, oh, chance because they didn't get funded the first time. So here's the wrong way to do things. People think, oh, if I can just get capital, I'll be finally able to trade full time, or I'll finally be able to get money to be able to learn trading and trade with the money. And that's the wrong thing to do. That's the opposite approach. You got to be able to learn the right skills first, and then after that, be able to get the capital, which you'll get automatically. So the first breakthrough happen when you stop thinking about yourself, stop thinking about your problems, the thing you want to get, and you start thinking about who you're dealing with, which you probably guess who you're dealing with is the prop firm. So if you do the wrong way, of course, it's going to be really frustrating over time. So don't focus on what you want, but focus on what the prop firm want. And if you do that, if you try to meet the needs of the prop firm, you'll get the capital right away. So let's think about it a little bit. What is it that prop firms want? What is it that they are looking for? And I might ask Anadol to kind of open his microphone and tell me some things, because I really cannot see anything in the chat here. So let me know in the chat, what is it that prop firm are looking for? What do you think that they want? Do they want high return? Do they want good traders? What do you think they're looking for?
Okay, I have here consistency and good risk management, consistency and patient, risk management, small drawdown, low risk, consistent returns, risk management. That's across the board. The main
risk management
is consistency. Yeah, risk management. Yeah, consistency, risk management, and low drawdown. That's the
low drawdown. I like it.
The main ones. Yeah. Yeah, everyone is basically saying the same. Some of them just slightly different.
So you guys are pretty good, pretty decent. I can actually see the chat now, so that's perfect. It's getting better. But that's pretty much it. I learned a few years back that most people think you have to show people high return for them to be able to give them money. But that's actually the opposite. What works the best is showing them low drawdown, so low risk, and decent return. And they'll be more likely to trade with you if you have that, as opposed to having this high reward. Everyone knows, like out there, all the investors, they all know what high rewards come with. They come with high drawdowns as well. So that's what you want to have, of course. And that's pretty much it. They look people like are going to trade with them for a while. They're consistent. They are diligent in their approach. They follow things. They're doing the right things. They keep track of things. They have their journal, and they're not there just to kind of get some money right away and trade with the money to be able to get rich. They're there because they want to be able to trade properly with the money, and that's what matters the most. So that's a good point. Now we have the mindset test, right? Now let's talk about a challenge strategy, which means in the challenge, there's some things that you can do and not do, and this will dictate whether you fail or win the challenge. And the thing is, we could talk about this like based on theory or whatever, but I would like to talk about this based on probabilities and based on actual numbers. So if you've got the right approach, you're able to succeed the challenge. And that means that you cannot go with the typical trading knowledge thing that people talk about. So here's the real difficulty of a challenge. It's not about being able to get the money. It's not about trying to achieve the target. It's not the difficulty of a challenge. Here's the real difficulty. So let me know in the chat. As the time left in a challenge decreases, so time that you have left to do the challenge decreases, what do you think happens with discipline? Is it going up or is it going down? Or is it staying the same? So let's say you start with a challenge where you have like 30 days to finish the challenge. Then you get to 20 days. Then you get to 10 days. Then you get to 5 days. What happens with discipline then? Is it the same or does it decrease? Or maybe it goes up? I don't know, you tell me. What do you think happens with discipline?
We have here a couple of people saying that it stays the same, Another person says going down, trying to get a lucky shot to end positive or to win the challenge.
Here's the answer.
Discipline
As
going
time left
down.
decreases, so as your challenge time left decreases, the pressure to perform increases, meaning discipline decreases. And we see so many people doing that where they go on a challenge and then they enter the challenge, they feel really good about it, which is normal, it's totally fun. But then they get to a point where they have less time and then they find no setup. So they start to try to find setup in other pairs or other time frame or other markets. And then they start to perform even less. So discipline decreases there. So here's a graph that's really important to understand if you're going to trade for any prop firm. Okay, it's the graph of your chance of passing when you're negative, and this is going to work if you're like break even. So if you break even in the challenge, okay, it's break even, doesn't really look right, or if you're just like small negative, small positive. So meaning that if you're like in a tiny profit, or if you break even, or if you're negative, here's basically the chance of passing. Okay, so chance of funding. Now here's basically the time left. Okay, so you start here. You have let's say like 30 days left, and here is your chance of passing is high, so 100%, and here will be 0%. Now when you begin the challenge, what is your chance of passing? Okay, maybe not 100%. Let's just say it's around this right here. Okay, this level here. Now, what happens when you get to 20 days left, right? What's your chance of passing if you're in negative or break even or small positive? It's going to decrease. It's going to actually decrease a little bit, right? And then what happens if you're getting to 10 days left? It's going to decrease a lot. It's going to be actually much lower. Because then you have much less time, which means that the chance decreases a lot more. Then when you have 1 day and you break even, chance goes really, really down. Or if you're negative, same thing. So this is going to be like pretty much exponential. So you start here, you have a high chance, then you decrease really quickly after that, basically. And that's not good because that means that if you just risk your same risk per trade on these kind of problem challenges, it's not going to work because your chance of passing decreases over time if you're not going to be aiming beyond or near the target. But we have a way where we can change that. We have a way where we can make it that your chance of passing is so it will be something like this. Your chance of passing here will be, let's say it's 80%, okay? And as time decreases, you get 0 here, you get 30 days here, your chance would be staying about the same over time, okay? There's a way to do that. And that way to do that is called changing your position size based on how long you're in the challenge. So if you're getting to, let's take an example. If you're getting to in the challenge and you have like, let's say 5 days left and you're having a loss of 1% on a challenge, would it make sense to keep the same position size at 1% per trade? Or would it make sense to increase your size a little bit on that challenge to be able to hopefully get to positive and pass the challenge? It would make sense, right? To be able to increase your size a little bit more. And of course, it would make sense. If you keep increasing your size a little bit as the challenge increases or goes forward, not maybe every day, but like over time, you can have a plan for that to increase your size. Then your chance of passing is getting better because you are able to get closer to the top, basically the minimum you have to reach to be able to pass the challenge. So that's what you have to focus on, being able to adapt your size or your risk management to be able to increase your chance of passing the challenge. That makes a big difference. So what we do is we teach our traders to kind of have a plan that says on day 1, your size should be normal. On day 2, your size should be the same. On day maybe 15, you should increase your size a little bit if you're not at a certain threshold. On day 20, you should increase your size a bit more. On day 25, more. On day 28, a lot more. To be able to get closer to that top challenge requirement, basically. Does that make sense? All right, cool. So the key to a good challenge is to analyze yourself also first before you even start. So the other reason why people might fail a challenge, so we talk about the technical strategy, the probabilities thing, the risk management. But the other issue here that come up is not understanding yourself and what might come up with yourself. So we talked before about people that go into challenge first, and they might kind of not find enough trades, so they go into other market, other time frame, other strategies, whatever. and that makes them lose the challenge. But if you understand yourself first, your chances of doing that are really low. You're not gonna go like trade other pairs if you understand what's happening and if you know how to deal with it. So here's what you need to ask yourself first. This is a question you need to ask yourself before every challenge. First one is, do you tend to be impulsive or overly cautious? People are into one of these two categories all the time. Either they're too impulsive or overly cautious, meaning you tend to take too many trades or too few trades when you trade the market. Second question is, do you react? How do you react to things when things don't go well? You tend to maybe overtrade. You tend to kind of push more size. You tend to change your size. You tend to, in some cases, it's like the fight or flight. You tend to maybe go away, stop trading. Those are things you have to know because you have to make a plan on how to get back on track when these things happen. Or the other question is, what causes you to react, as we mentioned before? So when things don't go well, maybe you put more size. And what are these things that make you react that way? So maybe it's like, oh, 2 losses in the market in a row makes you do that. Or maybe it's like, oh, the news takes you out and you react impulsively. Or maybe you get a news that's stopping you out. Or maybe it's news putting you in your favor, getting a good trade with that news. And then you start to take more trades that don't follow the plan. So whatever can happen there. Okay, but you need to know this in advance. The other question is, what is your most stable style and strategy? And this you should be defined before, and you should stick to that during the challenge. But most people don't define it. They say, oh, I'll trade these strategies. I have this one that might work too. And this one here on the side that I could use. And oh, this one, I actually used it a few years ago. It could work too. So they always switch with other things. But if you know before which one works, which one doesn't, which one is more stable, you're able to kind of stick to that and focus on that. And the last question here is, what is the gap between your trading and your fund trading? So what skills do you lack, or what things you should have to work on to be able to get funded? So things like maybe risk management, things like maybe it's your mindset, maybe it's your execution, maybe you miss a lot of trades. All these things you should be able to note down and be prepared for the challenge. Here's a quote that I really like. I'm not sure. I heard this from Randy Howell. It's not exactly the same wording, but it kind of makes sense to me in that way. So it said something like, the real power of a trader is not to avoid problems, but instead being able to deal with anything that happens. So if you're able to find, deal with anything that happens, any problem come up, you deal with it, you're able to find a good way to resolve it, then that's good. That's perfect. The issue is if you have problems and you cannot deal with them. So let's say you have this coming up, you have a bad trade, this comes up, and then you don't know how to deal with it. Then your result will suffer. But you cannot expect to get in a challenge or get in a prop firm and have no issues. Everything's going to be fine, smooth, perfect. It doesn't happen. So you need to be able to deal with the problem when they come up the right way, and that's going to make a huge difference there. Okay? So I suggest you, of course, write this down in your notebook or something. Awesome. Actually, let's go with that right now. So the second way to fail a challenge, okay? So we talk about the first, actually, this will be the third way. We talk about the first two, is having the wrong mindset, and not using the right risk management. The second one would be about what we just discussed. And this one here would be basically using the common trading term that people talk about with your trading. So here, trading with your regular size, and forget the risk parameters of prop firms. This will be like making a huge mistake in the market. So here's the issue. Most gurus online, which I hate the word gurus, but most people say, oh, trade only risk 1% per trade, and you'll be fine. Well, that applies well if you trade your own account, but it doesn't apply if you trade for prop firms or even investors. Here's why. Or people say also aim for 1% a day, same principle. Here's why this isn't going to work. So here's the example of 5%ers, a popular prop firm, where they will give you a $13,000 account to trade with for your demo or your challenge. And then you will get $52,000 if you are qualified with them. And on the $13,000 account, the relative drawdown, so maximum drawdown there, is $520, which would represent about 4% of your account if you're gonna trade with them. So 4% is not big. It's something that most traders can achieve in like a very small drawdown, right? On a 1% or 2% per trade. So if you're gonna risk your typical size on those trades, you're not gonna be able to tough that. And they have another issue here. It's a typical one for 5%ers, is the max exposure lot. So they have a 0.65 lot per trade, which if you trade big enough, especially on a $13,000 account, it's not hard to overcome that and go beyond that. So you need to be very careful where your trades go below that. And this would be kind of going against day trading. Okay. So no day trading. Because the fact that what am I writing? Day trading. Okay. Anyway, because of the fact that if you're gonna day trade, usually the size is bigger because your targets are smaller, your size is bigger, which means that this is really easy to achieve on a $13,000 account. So you need to be careful about that. Okay. Here's another example with the 5%ers. Again, for them, for example, this one here, the 10K account, you have a maximum loss of $1,000, daily loss of $500. Okay, which means it's only a 10% draw on maximum, which is a little bit higher, of course. But the issue here is that it's still not that high, like 10 trades and you're out, right? And that could be an issue. Also, if here you have to be careful about this, is the fact that if you accumulate trades over time, over like a week or something, then you get the news and you get stopped out. The daily drawdown here is only $500, which is quite low. So if you have 5 trades in the market at 1%, and boom, you have a news and you get stopped out on all these trades, or most of them, you're pretty much sure to hit this drawdown, which is not good. So you'll see a different platform. They have different parameters. They kind of, I would say, invite different things, different styles of trading, and having the wrong one in the wrong platform is a big issue there. So you need to be careful about these things. So all those things need to be considered before you go into a challenge. Now, once we talk about that, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment, of course. Let me try to see if I can load it again right here. I was able to load the comments a few minutes back, but they sort of disappear. Alt H, I believe. That's working well. Okay, awesome. So let's talk about the third way. And if you have any question, any thoughts, any issues, comment in the chat. I'll make sure to look at them at the end. For now, it's not loading on my side, so it kind of sucks. But I'll be doing that in the future. So now we'll talk about scaling up to 1.2 million. So this is the third step. Once you've been able to get funded, you have your capital. And basically the thing is that if you have the right mindset, the right strategy for a challenge, you should be good to be able to get to getting funded. Okay. But now getting funded is not the answer. So here's an issue that I had a few weeks back. So I ordered a computer from Dell. Okay, and Dell, they shipped me this computer, took a long time. And they have something that's called quality control. And quality control means that they cannot afford to ship bad laptops, right? Like pretty much any company does that. So what if you go like at a grocery store and you buy something and it's like expired or something, or it doesn't taste good for some reason, or it doesn't taste the same as usual for that product. It never happens, right? Because they have rules where it should taste the same, it should be the exact same thing, and they should not have more than X defective product per 1 million unit they sell or they ship out. And so now they have this issue where they work with Six Sigma, and Six Sigma means that they have I think it's 4 units out of a million that can be wrong or defective. The other one should be all good, and they cannot afford to have other ones that are not good. So they should be all perfect, except these 4 units. And that's something that you can apply some principle in trading. A little bit different, because you're not going to try to kind of have only 4 trades out of a million that are wrong. It'll be a little bit too good. But let's try to kind of have some numbers that you want to achieve to be able to be almost perfect. So I want you guys to be able to track and review your trades to ensure that the quality of your trade stays in the 95% compliance. So 95% and above should be perfect. No issues, perfect trades, all done properly. And this does not mean winning trades. It could be losing trades, but they have to be well executed. If they're well executed, then you're good with that. Okay? What you want to avoid here is having trades that are beyond your scope. And we'll talk about it very soon. So what you want to do, the way to do this is basically simple. Is you do a weekly process that's going to be crafted with the right steps. And here's how this works. You got to have 3 steps. First step is to do your chart review. Quite simple. Everyone does know how to do that. Go to your chart, look at your chart. Quite simple. Second one is called trade classification. We'll go on that soon. And the other one is called the right questions. So if you do these three things every week and you make sure these are properly done, your trading will always improve, always get better, and you'll have less bad trades all the time. Okay, I guarantee that. So let's talk about these different categories. Reviewing your chart is quite simple. I'm gonna talk about this for now because it depends on every person. But let's talk about classifying your trades. So you need to be able to distinguish three things in trading: the good trades, the bad trades, and the missed trades. So what is the difference here? You guys can dip in the chat if you want. Let me see if we can open that right here. Okay, it's gone. Awesome. Well, Anwar, you can dip in the chat if you want. I'd love to hear. So basically, good trades are trades that you take in the market, and they all basically the key is they respect your plan. Your plan, cool. That's really good. So what is a bad trade then? A bad trade is a trade that you take, and it does not respect your plan. So it's the opposite of this one here, the opposite. And this could be anything. So for example, your plan says don't trade before news, you take a trade before news. Or your plan says trade with this size and you trade with a different size. Or your plan says only trade this time frame, you trade a different time frame. Or your plan says only trade these pairs and you trade a different pair. These are all things that are bad. Or even same thing, you take profits early. Or you take your losses too late. Same principle here. It's a bad trade. Now the missed trades are trades that you missed. It's quite simple. Okay, no need to write this down. Trades that you didn't take that respect your plan. Now you want to be able to compare your result in trading with what if you took all your missed trades? Would it be better or not better? If it's better, then keep missing them. If it's not better, if it's worse when you miss trades, then you need to find a way to miss less trades. Okay. Now, what I want to focus on here is the bad trades part, because over time you'll find commonalities between these bad trades. So some of them, most of them will be have something in common, where you have bad trades because of the same reason. Now that's a good thing because you don't have to eliminate everything to be able to find these bad trades and stop them. There's only a few reasons. So for example, some people like their size. They change their size, and they have 10 trades in the last month that they do that. So if you just find a way to have the right size all the time, you can put all these trades away. You can eliminate all of those. Or maybe it's something that you take trades with the wrong zones in the market, the wrong support resistance areas. If you can find a way to do this all the time properly, then you'll be good to go. You never have any issues with that. Okay, so you need to find the reason for your bad trades, then try to eliminate them, and find a way to put them away and never have these bad trades again. It's quite simple. If you do that, your result will improve really quickly. Okay, so that's the second part of your weekly review. The third part is knowing the right questions. So what went well? What didn't go well? And how can I improve? So every week you know this down. What went well this week? Example is I took all the trades I was supposed to take in the market. What didn't go well? I missed 2 reviews during the week. How can I improve? How can I do my reviews better? Well, I could try to find a way to automate my reviews a little bit more. So have maybe a scanner, look at some pairs, or maybe set my algos parameters automatically. Whatever that is, but it could be different for you. It's going to be different for you, of course. But ask yourself these 3 questions every week, and you'll see a big difference in trading. And also, this kind of focuses you on improvements and becoming better, not on dwelling on the mistakes, not on being stuck in one place, but always improving. And if you always improve, there's no way in trading you cannot go forward. This works really well. Now, I want to remind you that getting funded is not the ultimate goal. It's not like the end result. So you get funded, yeah, that's good, but that's not what you're going to do for the rest of your life for most people. There's a step beyond that. And you've got now 2 priorities once you get funded. The first one is protecting the capital you've gained, so being able to keep that capital and trade it properly without making mistakes or losing it. And the other one is going after more opportunities for capital. And once you get funded, the opportunities, they come up and they open up like crazy. You're gonna have a chance to trade for investors, other prop firms, bigger prop firms, all the time. So what are your action steps there to be able to get more capital and get more funding or protect the funding? First is you focus on your metrics. Make sure your metrics in trading are always at the same pace. Your win rate, your average win, your drawdowns, your missed trades, not too many of them, not too many of the bad trades. Those are metrics you have to think about. Second one is to work on your equity curve, trying to make it more flat. So maybe you find out your strategy now doesn't work in some conditions in the market. You can stop trading then in these conditions to make sure that your equity curve is as optimal as you can make it, basically. Third one is you graduate in size. So we talked about this before. When you do the challenge first, you will have some limits in the challenge where you have to respect them. Your size will be small. Eventually, you can increase your size a little bit more, and you can graduate in size. So you can start with a lower count, going to bigger, and increasing your size eventually. And building on your experiences. So trying new things, getting new funding, new platforms, new opportunities. If you do platform first, maybe investors after. Maybe you're gonna have a different fund, trade for a big fund. Maybe you start your own fund, whatever that is. But you have a lot of steps you can take to be able to get better and build on opportunities in the future. And this will come really easily if you get funded the first time. It's all like a kind of like a snowball effect where you get funded first, then that leads to more funding, then more funding, more funding. Then all these opportunities come up, then this come up, then you can do this and that, and you can start this fund here, and things really add up really fast then. So it's kind of like when you climb a mountain. So you climb this mountain, you're super happy and you're proud, and that's all good. You sweat a lot to be able to get there, and that's fine. But there's a lot of other mountains you can climb, and if you always stay there, it's gonna be beautiful. But after a week and a half or after 2 weeks, you're gonna get bored of that mountain, that view from that mountain. So you gotta be able to climb more mountains to see a different view and have a different perspective and feel happier again. So it's nothing bad. Some people say that it's bad because you're happy, but I believe that it's always you always challenge yourself and you always become better and get more opportunities, which is a good thing for myself. So now I'd like to ask you, why do you show up today? Why are you at this event? And it's probably most of the cases because you know you need to get more capital and you want to be able to scale your trading in the next few months. You want to be able to get to maybe 2K a month, then 5K a month, then 10K a month, then go even beyond that. But you're probably not sure how to proceed, and you want someone to be able to guide you through the process of getting funded and going beyond that. And you want to be able to get funded without failing the challenge. We said before that most people fail challenge the first time. It's like 81% people fail challenge when they take it. And that's not good. You want to be able to do it the first time because there's no point wasting money on challenges without getting your funding, obviously. So from here, you have two options. The first one is you can do it on yourself, on your own. We talk about things you did that are really powerful, things you can apply on your own. I'm sure you have a lot of action steps right now to be able to apply. And that's all good. That's going to take you really far. The second option, though, if you want to be able to get there faster, is the simple strategic approach. Being guided by people who already did it, have been funded and be able to be guided by them and learn from them. So I would like to introduce you a little bit to the program we've launched a few months back. That's called the Ultimate Platform Trading program. And this teaches you, this is the only platform trading course that we've seen out there. There's nothing else like it. And it's the only program that's made for those who want to be able to significantly increase their trading capital by leveraging online platform, so such as FTMO, 5%ers, and being able to get funded by them. And what's included with that on a short overall basis is the Ultimate Platform Trading course. You get monthly funded trader mastermind calls. You get strategies that work well for platform trading. And you get also a group on Slack, which we have a funded trader Slack mastermind group. You also get resource tools for the challenge. And you get mentoring from a professional trader throughout your journey in the program. And of course, a lot more. So I'd like to give you a bit of background on that. Now, here are things you learn from the program. First thing is you learn how to get funded by platforms the first time around without wasting time doing it 3-4 times the first time. Second thing is you learn how to be able to leverage external capital to trade full time. So it's one thing to get funded the first time around, but what about getting funded and then going full time? We can teach you that. We can help you with that. And many of us did that in the past, so we can teach you how to do it the right way properly the first time. You'll learn strategies that increase your chances of success. So some strategies work really well, but they don't work well for challenges or for platform trading. People don't like these results. So we can teach you things that make strategies better, and also how to make sure that your strategies are working for the challenge. So out of the box, using them and being able to get good results with them. You get a step-by-step plan on how to become profitable and also scale up. So here are some feedback of people that went through the course and have been able to get funded by working with us. The first one is Gerald, Trader G14, who was in our program. And here's the feedback he had from Alex. So he's been able to basically get funded 40K the first time. And then that's going into 67K. and now he even started a fund and growing it since then. So that's pretty awesome. And we have here Marcelo, who's been up 4% in its first month, which actually we talk about, the bonus universal. And so just for the first month, without much knowledge before that, being able to apply it and get some really good results with it. Pretty cool. So I want to give you guys a breakdown of what's included with that course, quite simply. So you have 9 self-paced modules. So these are modules on all topics you need to be able to master before, during, and after the challenge. So we begin with like a course introduction. We talk about then the major platform, which one to choose, all the different things that they have, and we update this all the time. And we talk about the fund trader habits on module 3. Then we go into the risk management principle you need to be able to master, module 4. Pre-challenge planning. Once you've been able to do that, you'll be able to get to doing the challenge. Module 6 about challenge strategies, so things you have to do, or actually the strategies you can use for a challenge. Module 7 is about managing the process, managing progress, so being able to know when you're doing things right, when you can change things. And we also have, I believe in module 7, a plan for risk management of how to be able to increase your size over time during the challenge. We talk about module 8 is after the challenge, and module 9 is about managing capital overall, how to get more funding, how to get investors, and be able to scale up over time. So this also comes with our monthly mastermind calls, which are group calls with other traders, and you want to make sure you have the right support, the support you need in this course, in this program, to be able to get to what you want to get to, whether it's like 50K, 1.2 million, or beyond that. It's fun. So here's feedback from Mariano, who's been to these calls last month. He says, thank you everyone for the session. I learned so much of the experience and feedback. Thanks to Tian, Michael, and Aninal for your support and knowledge. This is the first step of my training journey. Also awesome. So here's basically the thing we have is a Slack mastermind group where people can ask questions anytime, 24/7. People get back to them, either ask the coaches or other people. And so you get feedback pretty much anytime and support on things you need to master. So for example, here Elliot, who is one of our students, was asking about a strategy we have, the secretarial strategy that Michael teaches. It's a really good strategy for challenges. And he asked a question about this. Michael replied to him, and that way you're able to get support and feedback anytime. Okay, we're there like 24/7. Also, you'll be learning in this course from Michael Tema. Michael is a coach and a full-time trader. He started trading in 1998, full-time in 2006. And he is certified in risk management, which is a perfect fit if you want to be able to get funded by prop firms. And he is managing right now almost $3 million for private investors. Michael is also the author of The Risk of Trading, a book that's really popular for traders. And that means that you're going to be able to learn from him like almost one-on-one. So who is this for? It's basically for people that are traders who want to be able to solidify their trading before becoming funded traders. So if you are not funded yet, you want to be able to solidify things first to be able to get funded the first time around. Perfect fit there. That's who you had in mind. That's who we had in mind when we built the course. Or maybe you're profitable right now, but you want to have the guidance before, during, and after the challenge to be able to get funded and go beyond that after. Be funded, doing the right the first time, and then being able to get more capital. So even if you're profitable or not, it's going to work anyway. We can teach you things and strategies that will work for you in any case. Here's some results our student had. So Robson's the first one, passed FTMO the first time around. Sanjit, who basically quit his job not so long ago to go full-time trading. So that's awesome. And so basically what you're going to get with this program is you get the program. It's valued at $15,000 based on the capital you can get from the program with prop firms. And along with that, you might be asking yourself, do you need to pay for the prop firm challenge on top of that? And the answer is, we will give you, as a bonus, a complimentary challenge for the first challenge you take. So that means that you don't have to pay the fee for the challenge on the first time, and we'll take care of it for your challenge. It's going to work for any of the top three prop firms, so FTMO, 5 Centers, or Top Step Trader. It's going to work for any of them. So you're going to get basically the prop firm course plus the complimentary challenge fee, valued at $300, total value of $15,300. And we want to make sure you also have more strategies too, because some people like different strategies. You might be wondering that you have a style right now that works well, but you want to have more things to be able to solidify your style and have different strategies. So we give you access to 2 courses. One is called the Trading Strategy Playbook. The other one is called Ultimate Day Trader. So this will teach you strategies for different kind of market types and different trading style. So the first course, Trading Strategy Playbook, will teach you things about swing trading strategies. We talk about breakout plays, reversal plays, multiple time frame, and how to plan your trades properly. The second course will give you access is called the Ultimate Day Trader. This one will give you access to strategies for day trading in any condition and any market session. So we talk about the London session, New York session, and the Tokyo session. Strategies are different for each of them because they apply differently, but you can trade any session with that and being able to get funded with these strategies. So what you're going to get is you get the platform course, the complimentary challenge, and Trading Strategy Playbook, Ultimate Day Trader. Both courses are sold at these prices separately. So total value of $16,794. And you're also going to be mentored by a professional trader, Michael Tama, and he's also a fund manager. So Michael Tama usually takes only big clients, working with like big firms, sometimes like big companies as well. And that's usually what he only does. He doesn't work with private traders most of the time. So you're able to kind of work with him now with this program. And we had to work a lot of people to get him to work on that and support people. So now it works really well with that. But you're getting mentorship and advice from someone really big in the industry. Here's feedback from Rio, who's in our course, who said that he really loved Michael. Michael is among the best of teachers in the training industry. So my goal is to be someone that I love to work with myself, and he's going to be really able to give you some good result in your trading, definitely. So basically, you get the platform course, you get the complimentary challenge we talk about, Trading Strategy Playbook, the Ultimate Day Trader course, Michael Tama's direct guidance and mentoring, worth $4,000 for coaching, or connection experts and mentoring, of course, total value of $20,794. And basically how it's going to work is you can join the program today. All bonuses included is going to be $997. Or if you want to make two payments and pay a few more dollars, it's fine. We have an option for two payments of $499. The link is this one, is ultratrader.com/capital, and you'll be able to join the program today. And we expect you with this program to be able to get funded between 2 to 6 months from now for any platform if you have the right things in place. If you have more skills right now, you'll get funded faster. That's obviously possible. But if you have to work on many things and go through the whole program, then about 2 to 6 months is usually the average we see for most traders. So obviously we had two choices with this, and I always not really like the cheap products. So I prefer to dedicate more time, support, and energy to be able to give you more support and things you need to be able to succeed. I don't like to go the cheap approach where the course is cheap, we don't give any support, we don't answer emails. We prefer to be more there for people that take your course and kind of be a family instead of trying to sell many of these courses. We prefer to be there to support everyone that's going to take the course and make sure that they get funded. We have no interest in only teaching people for fun. We want to make sure they get funded and they actually get capital to be able to change their life and trade full time. That's what matters the most to us. Myself, Michael, and Alejandro, the three of us, we care about people getting results and getting funded with this course. So we had a few success stories so far, but we do want to get more over time. Here's some traders we've helped. So David was able to get funded. He got $200,000 from TopStep FX. And here's Trader G14 we talked about before. He got his own fund, which he started. Now he's getting a lot more capital these days. So all of that because of the program and because he got funded the first time. And opportunities just came his way after that. So what you can get is the Ultimate Platform course, the complimentary challenge fee, the Trading Strategy Playbook course, the Ultimate Day Trader course, Michael Thomas direct guidance and mentoring, or connection experience and mentoring all the time, myself included, and total value is $20,794. So the link is there, ultratrader.com/capital. I believe Daniela will put the link in the chat soon, and you'll be able to click on that and sign up right away. So now I'd like to get to questions and answers. So I'll ask Anil to come up back again with the audio, and we can go through some questions and answer your questions.
Yeah, we have actually a lot of questions. I'm actually right now trying to organize them here. So we're having a lot of questions about the program. So let's start with some questions related to the platforms and how that fits with the program. So here we have some people saying that they are already in the program, but they are having with the problem with in the program, no, in the challenges. They're already in the challenges, an FTMO challenge, and they're having a lot of trouble with the second phase. They have their own strategies based on price action, and they don't want to change it. Is the program suitable for them, or do they have to learn the strategies we teach in order to be able to take it?
Yeah, it definitely works with that. So we had an example of a guy that joined the program last month who had a strategy pretty defined and pretty good with that. He took the challenge the first time, he didn't succeed, and that was before getting the program. So he took the challenge the first time, didn't succeed to the challenge. But with our advice and with tips we gave him to improve his strategy, get things better, and kind of find the better setup, he was able to at least get break even on his challenge and get, I think, a better profit. So with that, that means that he can get a second free challenge compared to losing the money for the challenge, because he wasn't the loss before. He got to break even beyond that. So meaning that he has a better chance to take challenge again next time with our teachings and our lessons and our support, which means that he's probably going to be able to get it next time, which is pretty cool. So definitely works with people who have their own style and strategies. You can also modify it, or maybe if you want other styles, that works well too. Other strategies you want. So we can decide on what is the best way to proceed with that.
Yeah, and well, your answer kind of ties up to another question I have here, which is, is it possible to take this program and become a founded trader while having a full-time job? And yeah, not what they don't like. Here I have a question. Don't want to leave the full-time job because they like it, but they want to be able to become founded and have that as secondary income. Will this program be suitable for them?
Yeah, definitely. It's not something that takes a lot of time to do. It's something that you can do fairly quickly if you apply things the right way. And of course, you can have your job if you want. Like, I like to be able to help people, and I can still get capital and get funded if I want. So it doesn't really matter. You can do it anyway, and you can still have a full time job. You can even study if you are in university or whatever, and that doesn't mean you cannot get funded. So you can for sure get funded, and that's going to just help you get more income from trading if you want. So definitely you can do it. It's a good challenge anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, it's everyone's situation is different, and part of what we do is helping you understand, okay, what works best for your scenario, your case, and then you can develop that even more. Here we have a quick question about the pricing. Is the pricing in USD or which currency?
Yeah, it's in USD.
Yeah, all the prices are in USD. Just for that. I'm just going to answer another quick questions. Do we have our programs in different languages, or are they only in English? So in that sense, unfortunately, we only have them in English at the moment, so we don't have translations yet of the programs, since it's not just the videos part of the program, it's also the coaching and the support and that. And if we do not have those languages available us as at a good level, we are unable to deliver the support necessary. So, we having videos in other languages would not be useful for our members, as we want to give them their support.
But if you're not super comfortable with English, that's fine, because most things are written in one of the slides. You can always read it, and that's okay. And we'll recommend that you know how to speak English a little bit, and that would be the minimum. But most things are easy to understand and they're written on the slides. You could be just learning from that. And you can also write if you want, if you prefer.
Yeah. We have a question here actually from three different people, from Rodrigo, Jason, and Dennis or Frank. I can't see the other name. But basically it's asking, the program is mainly focused on Forex. Will it also be useful for other asset classes or other type of traders that are not that focused on Forex?
So I personally trade Forex myself, and I know trades Forex as well. We do have Michael. Michael trades futures and Forex and also options as well. So he can teach you things that are about other asset class or other markets for sure. And the same thing apply with other markets. So for example, Top Step, the platform, they work with futures as well. So you could be funded with futures if you prefer.
Exactly. So that's great. We have another question here about the access to the program. Is it like a specific time program, or is it like couple of months program with lessons in that, or is the access a lifetime to the program?
So the program will take you about, let's say, 1 month to 3 months to complete, and in all cases you get access to the support lifetime. So if you have any question now, you can answer this for free questions, support anything. And if you have issues in like 2 years from now, you can still get access to that and get support from us. So we don't have a limit of time. As long as you show some effort and you put in the work, we'll be happy to work with you and help you out to solve your issues and go even beyond. So yeah, even if you have a question like 5 years from now and you are at a different level, we can still help you with that for sure.
Okay, perfect. I have another question here about is the program available for U.S. Citizens? As you know, they tend to have restrictions about FX trading in general. Is this program available for U.S. citizens? And well, I would add that to are these type of prop firm programs also available to them, right? Because
Yeah. It totally works. So it's not same thing as a broker, where brokers can only operate in different region. The prop firms aren't really regulated like that, so they can have clients from everywhere, and you can still get paid by them even if you're in the US or anywhere else in the world.
perfect. Here we have a couple of extra questions. We have one about if you are a full-time employee, but you want to be a swing trader with the strategies that we teach. Is it possible to trade well with the strategies that we have in the program and still there, or do they need to get their own strategy outside the program that can do that?
Most of them you can apply if you have a job. They think about like 30 minutes a day for most of them. Most of the swing trading ones. The day trading one take a little bit more time, but you can always do them in a few hours a day, like 1 or 2 hours will be fine. But definitely swing trading doesn't take much time. So you can apply those and they will work even if you have a job or in any market session anyway. So you can do them in the morning, the evening, it doesn't really matter. Or you can set alerts to be able to get them anytime in the day also.
Okay, perfect. I have another question, which is a pretty interesting question. Jason says, my goal is not really to get funded by a prop firm, but rather to improve my trading skills. Would this be the right program for me, or would a different program would be more suitable for that case?
This is definitely going to help your skills in trading for anything, but I do recommend the academy if you're going to want to work on your skills overall. So the academy is not, it's a different topic of like more becoming profitable and improving your skills overall, less on getting funded. So that would be a better fit for you.
Yes. Also, the academy has more focus on a one-on-one and a higher level of personal support, which is usually required to get to the highest level of trading. Not necessarily profit trading, but like in any part of trading in there.
So that's different. If you want to learn more about this, you can just email us. We'll be happy to give you more details on that. But this course we talk about now is really for people who want to get funded and get to first 10K, 50K, 100K, or even more multi-million with prop firms. That's really the focus of this program. And the effort we put in are focused on that.
Perfect. I have another question which has to do with that. In this program, what level of support do they get? Do they get any type of calls with Michael and you, or do they only get the text-based support?
It's definitely better for you to comment with us and chat with us through the Slack group. We are there pretty much all the time. Either myself or Michael is in the US time zone, so he's there in the day for his time zone. I'm there in the Asian time zone. We're there pretty much all the time. And you can just post there. We'll be getting back to you quickly. If you need to do a call, you can always ask Michael. He might be able to do that. He doesn't have a lot of time to do it, but he has some time to do it sometimes. And that could be possible. But we also have mastermind calls every month, anyway, at the end of the month. So you're able to come during these calls and learn from us and be able to get tactical advice and also a lot of accountability as well to be able to move forward.
Perfect. I have a question here for Dimitri. Is the program and the strategies we teach applicable for day traders also? Because up until now we have been talking mostly about swing trading and that. So he wants to know if it's also available.
Yeah, definitely.
for-
So the bonus that is a course on day trading, the ultimate day trader course, touched specifically on that day trading strategy. So that's going to be a perfect fit for that. And we teach you two strategies you can apply in different market conditions, different sessions, and they work really well. Some people use them straight full time. So you can definitely use those if you want.
Exactly. And also, Michael Toma itself, he's mostly day trader. So 80% of his trades are day trading. So he knows pretty well about that. And we have members that are already funded being scalpers and day traders too. So it's a program
Yes.
suitable for everyone in that case. Okay. Here we have one person asking, will this program be able to help me to get to increase my funding if I already have 50K from FTMO? Can this program help me to get funded, to get 100K or to get extra funding from the 5%ers too?
Definitely, yeah, of course. One part of the program is getting funded the first time, but the other part is actually getting more funding. So it's going to help to solidify everything first. Maybe the first time you got funding, you were lucky, or maybe you work hard for it. It's fun, but there's some things you can always improve and have better in your trading. So it's going to help you solidify things first and get more funding over time for sure. Yeah, we can definitely help with that.
Perfect. Okay, I had an interesting question. How big are you guys on psychology and trader mindset?
Pretty big. In this one, not as big because it makes a difference, but not that big on a prop firm. We will give you that for sure in the mastermind call. We usually do kind of reality check. We teach people the right things in terms of mindset and psychology. But most of the aspect here is on risk management and on doing the right things and having the right habits, which is kind of part of the mindset also. But we teach you most of these things anyway. So you get the things you need to be able to succeed, but not too much, if that makes sense.
Perfect. So I'm just checking, since we have a lot, I'm checking just if I have any that I have missed yet. Here, I have a question about, well, it's basically a question like they are already in the FTMO program, but you need to make 10% in a month. Is risking 2% a viable strategy? Like increasing your risk is a viable strategy. I think that you have a pretty good opinion in that sense.
So that will be increasing your risk at the end or in the beginning?
No, from the start, like changing from 1% per trade to 2% because the target is 10% in.
And so here's the thing: you gotta take into account the fact that you might be facing the worst run you've had in the past. So that means that you cannot just increase your risk because if after 5 trades you're out and you just win in challenge, it's not worth it. You're gonna fail a challenge. So and plus the pressure added to that and discipline you're gonna lack in the future. So it's not what you want to do, of course. You need to be able to risk a proper amount that's going to be lower than what you would do live for yourself, and even lower than what you would do anyway in that case. So you have to go lower for sure. And then over time, if you are not close to the target toward the end, you can increase your risk, like we talked about before.
Yes.
But not too high, of course.
Yes, and also I will add to that because I here we have other like 3 or 4 questions related to that, like people talking about their strategies, their win rate, and that's saying if risking 0.5, 1%, or 2% is reasonable for an FTMO challenge. That is exactly what 2 of the models of the program are designed for, and also what we help you with in the mastermind calls, because all of this will depend on many factors, and the program it's designed to help you determine with your strategy what is going to be the most adequate risk per trade or risk model to follow for your challenge, because every platform will be different because they have different rules, and every single trader strategy will be different because all the strategies have different parameters and different personalities. We can call them like that. So I want to group all of those questions in that because the answer for all of them is the same. That's basically the whole reason why we created the program, to help people in those specific scenarios.
And what's going to happen if you take the program is once you get to the part of risk management and taking the challenge, we'll make sure you're ready for a challenge first, and we'll give you a plan to be customized for your risk management of what you got to do which day of the challenge, and it's gonna make sure everything is perfect and there's no flaws there. So it's better to have that than go random and trying to do things when you're desperate. You want to be ready in advance to be able to do that properly.
Perfect. Amit is asking that what is the founding rate in a prop firms, because he says that he has seen many newbies getting founded by prop firms in Facebook groups and the like, and he was just curious to know what is the like how many traders really get founded from the people that apply to the programs. Oh, sorry, to the challenges.
We've heard from the prop firm we talked to. I believe it's either FTM or 5%ers. We've heard that they have a failure rate of 81%. So 81% of people taking a challenge failed them. And that's not surprising because people do it the wrong way first and they have the wrong mindset about it. So 81% is something that I pretty much believe in. And that's talking about prop firms and knowing those stats. So we definitely know that. People that we've taught, most of them are getting good results with the challenge.
Yeah, in general, yeah, I also have talked with prop firms actually yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, we had a call with another prop firm which we are researching in order to check how legitimate they are to give more options to people. And yeah, all around it's about 80% to 85% of the people that start a challenge fail. So that's pretty big. And from the prop firms that we are working with FTMO and the 5%ers. We have heard that the people that are sent by us from our sources tends to be much more likely to pass the challenges than the people that are, like general public that they have from there. So I actually like working with us because they know that they get people that are more likely to get past the challenges and generate profits for the prop firm in the end.
I felt good hearing that. It's perfect. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was something really nice to hear them say last time when we talked to them. Yeah. I think those are most of the questions. I have another questions here, which we already answered them at some point in the past during the Q&A. So if there is a question that I am glancing over because we already answered it, you can watch the replay once we have it ready. We'll send it to you by email. We have just another question here about people. Frank was asking, can you trade with this program, and can we help in that part later if you get the program, which is, can you trade your own accounts at the same time you're trading the prop firm accounts so that you can grow more and you can trade your own money, run your own money, and also get the profits from the prop firm at the same time?
Yeah, obviously you should definitely do that. There's no reason not to do it. So you can even copy your trades with MD4 different platform. You can copy your trades to different accounts. So it could be the same thing you do with the prop firm to on your account. You can do that for sure. So that's something I recommend because there's no point just doing for prop firm without growing your account yourself. And you should be able to do both. And you can also even apply to different prop firms. So once you do one, nothing prevents you from going to another one and another one after to be able to get even more capital. So that's totally fun.
Actually, something that we help people with, and specifically I do help people, a lot of people with that, is there are many technological ways in which you can make these, trading multiple accounts for the prop firms and for yourself feasible. So we help people to set those things up and to get the technological aspects so that they don't have to, manually input 5 or 7 trades every single time they want to take a trade. So yeah, we can help with that part. And the prop firms that we work with, specifically FTMO, 5%ers, and Top Step, they all allow you to trade other accounts at the same time and even for other prop firms. There may be other prop firms out there, more traditional ones, that maybe they will tell you you can't. Some of them because of regulatory reasons. The traditional ones, they tend to have a bit more restriction in that. But in the end, part of the growth plan that we help people with is how you can start with one prop firm and then grow to another one, and then you have multiple sources of income from your same trading, right? And then you can massively increase your profits that way with multiple sources of income.
Awesome. So that being said, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you, Tom, and we'll send out the replay in a few hours after this process and everything is done. I want to thank you for being here and taking time to watch training and also take action on it. I hope we can work with you with the Profit course, of course. We'll be able to help you out and make sure you get funded, have a lot of accountability and support throughout your journey to get funded and go to full time eventually. We want to see that success happening for you as well. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a nice day or evening, wherever you are in the world, and we'll catch up soon.